Pregame.tv, Steve Fezzik, Scott Spreitzer. We're breaking down the NFL. Scott's got his Marvin Lewis fan club card in his wallet. He's going to be talking about the Bengals and how they're going to the Super Bowl. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, people.
Spare me for a second.
Baltimore's going to be a little bit down this year. We'll see what happens. The game's in Baltimore. Scott, take it away.
In fact, I thought my wife just takes the money out of my wallet. Apparently, she takes the Marvin Lewis fan card also. But when I look at this particular game, really, you look at the Bengals wide receivers, their tight ends, all good. And I know Marvin Jones was banged up before the season began, and they've known this for a month, obviously, that he wasn't going to play. And I think they got the right guys around him. When A.J. Green is being, double defended and double teamed, they got guys like Mohamed Sanu, they got Jermaine Gresham, they got Tyler Eifert, other guys who can step up and make their receptions. One of the things that I like about this unit against the Baltimore Ravens is that I do think they'll be able to attack the secondary a little bit for Baltimore in this particular game. And that means you're going to get some bigger guys going downfield for Cincinnati without Marvin Jones being in the lineup. But it also means Green will get open and make his pass catches a couple of times. As far as Baltimore is concerned, really the only true advantage that I have, Steve, and I know we're going to play, like you said, little counterpoint here, is in the coaching. I mean, obviously I rate John Harbaugh above Marvin Lewis. And that is a big deal sometimes. I like what Hugh Jackson is doing, coming in and being the offensive coach. I don't like the fact that Cincinnati lost Mike Zimmer, who goes to take over the head coaching spot at Minnesota. But I'm going to tell you in the end of this why I like Cincinnati anyway. Yeah,
let me throw out one trend that doesn't really apply. We've got any playoff team facing a team with a losing record, although Baltimore was, 8-8 last year?
Sure.
So there, it really doesn't apply, but it's close to applying. It has been dynamite against the spread, so I tend to want to get on the team that missed the playoffs. They got the chip on the shoulder, and they're looking at this game. Baltimore's been dynamite at home, and so I give them a bigger home field advantage. That's part of my power ratings with this. But really, it's all about coaching. The Bengals players are fantasy football 101. Bernard is phenomenal, and Ray Rice, he's suspended, big deal, doesn't matter, but the backup is
well, but Pierce is a little bit. Yeah, you just understand.
Normally Pierce is better, but not right now.
Right.
And so the running back advantage of the Bengals is off the charts good. Their wide receivers is off the charts good. The quarterback, maybe, I don't even like Flacco. So you add it all up, and the Bengals defense and Baltimore's defense are comparable. So I think you should land on Cincinnati. I just think I think the Bengals. I think the Bengals coaching staff's going to find a way to play. And maybe I'm biased too. I saw the game last year. We should have ended 17-10. That Cincinnati got the Hail Mary at the end of the game to go to overtime. And I just think the game means more to Baltimore. But skill position, evaluation, I'm scared to death to play Baltimore. I'm probably going to be off the game because it's such a mismatch.
I wish I could give you an argument when it comes to a couple of key points you just made, because I agree with you when it comes to the coaches. I agree with you that I know it sounds funny to say it. I know it sounds like you've heard it a million times. I do think it is more important to Baltimore. Obviously, it's a home game for Baltimore. I know there's these great trends that talk about these divisional home favorites of less than a field goal and on and early in the season especially. But I'm gonna buck all of that. And again, you're not going to hear me too often wanting to back a Marvin Lewis coached football team. But I think in this particular spot, I have to, Steve.
All right, we're going to let you make it official.
Here's one of the reasons I mentioned that I was going to talk about in the best bets. And that reason is that Hugh Jackson, as I mentioned, is now the offensive coordinator, calling the shots on the offensive side of the football for Cincinnati. Marvin Jones, if healthy, is likely going to have many fewer scores as far as touchdown passes are concerned, many fewer opportunities if he was healthy. He's not for this game. But what I'm trying to say here is for what they've been building since they hired Hugh Jackson, it's not a big adjustment because he's out. They've got big bodies at tight end that can fill in, as I mentioned, Sanu, Gresham, I mentioned them earlier, and the occasional moment when Green is able to beat those double teams. Because as everybody's reported, and to steal a phrase that's been used a million times, Hugh Jackson is bringing a run-centric type of attack to the Cincinnati Bengals even more than we've seen in the past. So I think it lessens the importance of a guy like Marvin Jones not being ready for this game. I think Cincinnati's the right side. I'm not going to argue Steve's points. He makes great points. I agree with them both. I just believe Cincinnati's the right side. I think they go on to a win in this one, and I went ahead and grabbed the points with Cincinnati.
I think it's going to probably it doesn't surprise me we got two handicappers, going both sides. That winds up coming down to a key play down the stretch, which maybe you could say the Cincinnati's got the playmakers to make it. I love that Bernard dinner bet. What's I don't want to talk about who's going to win the game.
Okay.
I want to make a bet on where the line closes.
Okay.
It's currently Bengals are catching 1.5.
Right.
And it's been dropping. It was 2.5. It's down to 1.5. I'll bet it goes back up.
Yeah.
You want to bet it's going to go back up?
I think it's going to go back up also.
You think it's going to go back up also?
I agree.
Okay. So maybe if we take the Bengals, maybe we wait for
right at post. We agree with everything except for the side. I mean, it's funny. We agree with everything except for the side.
I certainly hope it's more run-centric because I think I would look to the under in this game.
Sure.
Just with the team history, Baltimore's divisional games been very low-scoring historically. Very good. We're going to move from the AFC to the NFC. Tampa Bay, Carolina. I will have a free play on that. Stay with us. Pregame.tv.
That doesn't sound too